So this is my Bulma, Death and Taxes Zenkai deck. I'll copy of the leader. 4 Oceana Shenron, 4 Shenron for Your Majesty, 4 Exploding Weakness Vegeta, 4 Broly Counter Reversal, 4 Goku Eye for Eye, 4 Kaioken Goku, 4 Gohan Facing Android Terror, 4 Videl, 4 Nappa Super Combo, 4 Testing Opposition, 4 Lord Slug Giant Force, 4 Gohan The Awaken, 4 Baby Juvenile Parasite, and 1 SS3 Gohanks Interdimensional Warrior. And for the Zenkai deck, 4 Gohan at the ready, 1 Gogeta Facing the Fierce Foes, 1 Super Saiyan 4 Goku Defender Life, and 1 Ultra Instinct Goku Unthinking Onslaught. So that's side deck. Alright. Obviously the leader has the ability that once per turn you get to draw a card, and then also has the ability to make all your red and yellow Saiyans and Earthlings become blockers. We have a lot of red Saiyans, Earthlings in the deck for that. Oceanus obviously is for, she's a blocker. Also she negates an attack and you play her, and then she has the ability where if your opponent attacks, they mill 4 cards. So she has a Floodgate ability. Shenron, we use them because when we have 5 or more cards in our drop, we get to draw a card and then activate one of his abilities. Mainly use them to untap 2 energy, so we can always have energy up for our negates, and like for Oceanuses, for our testing oppositions, that kind of stuff. And then we also use it to combo. We also use it to combo with the leader's ability to untap 2 energy on the Awaken side, so we can end up with 4 energy on our opponent's turn. So we could essentially double Oceanus our opponent, or be able to Oceanus, right? Play testing opposition, but then play an extra testing opposition for free from our hand. If the situation calls for it, that kind of stuff. The other thing we can obviously use Shenron for is to be able to reuse our Videl Miraculous Aid, bring it back from the drop and trigger effect. And of course, should be a blocker, so we can use it for defense, and then also be able to bring back Nappa, use him as a blocker. So we got some targets for Shenron, so we can have a draw/blocker engine. So that's the kind of ways we use them. Exploding Weakness, basically counterplay, lets us forward wipe our opponent, minusing 20k to our opponent's battle cards, plus giving our leader 5k extra boost, which is always nice to have, especially with the fact that our leader is weak. For the taxes part of the deck, we have Broly. So if our opponent plays a counter skill card like counterplay, counter attack, or counter, they take a damage. It's return. Same goes for Goku Eye for Eye. They have the same abilities. We have Lord Slug, Giant Force. He has the -4 auto ability, which if your leader is red, when your opponent activates a counter skill, deal 1 damage to them. So that's another card that burns our opponent if they play counter skills. So of course, trying to get these out in play at the same time to make it hard for our opponent to play negates, which are counter attacks, right? Or floodgate negates or counter plays. So we're trying to punish our opponent for trying to play those counter plays, counter attacks, that kind of stuff. Even counters, like Golden Avenger or something. Try to punish them for that. So that's the taxes part. The death part comes from our Exploding Weakness, which is a forward wipe. You could play it on your turn and get his effect. You can play your opponent's turn and get the effect of -20k to your opponent's board. Kaioken Goku, you could play him auto to destroy all your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or less. He has the active main. We pay 2 red, and your leader is red. You can choose one of your opponent's battle card, ignore and barrier, -5k from it, so it comes in handy. If we're going against something that has barrier. The Gohan is one of the new additions to the deck. It has the active main. Wait, which ability would be? Yeah, there we go. It has the active main /battle limit 1 ability. We pay 1 energy. If your leader card is red or a master's teaching card, and your life is 4 or less, play this card from your hand. So, obviously he's a red Saiyan, so once you're playing from your hand for 1 energy, and it's active main and active battle, so obviously you want to use this active battle. and be able to play it out as a 15k blocker. So use it to surprise your opponent. And this also has the effect that if your leader card is red, when this card is added to your Z energy, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and it gets minus 15k power for the turn by paying 1 red. So that comes in handy. And then this has the auto that when this card is played, choose a total of up to 7 of your opponent's battle cards and or unison cards, and they get negative 10k power for the turn. Additionally, if you choose 5 or more cards with this skill, this card gets plus 10k power and double strike for the turn. So you can at least, especially if you play this in your opponent's turn, you can at least turn this into a 25k blocker. Yeah, it'll have double strike, but it's unimportant. It's only on your opponent's turn. So you have a 25k blocker, and you can potentially, board wipe your opponent. So really good card. So we can definitely take advantage of playing that on an opponent. Then, like I said, we have Videl, so we can cycle our 3 costs or less red Saiyans. Nappa, super combo power, as well as his ability to hit the field, so we can use him to block, test out position, block an attack, and then block, and then have a blocker token so we can block another attack. So 2 for the price of 1. Gohan the Awaken, he's a blocker unison. He has the auto that then returns for his cards active mode, which is great. So that we can play him, attack with him, and apply pressure, but still be able to use him to block. Plus 1 auto when you use that part doesn't matter because we don't have mono red. We have mono red. What was it? When you use a mono red battle card in a combo, draw a card, and then additionally, if a battle card with 20k power or more is in your battle area, this card gets double strike for the turn. So obviously you can take advantage of these cards right here because they inherently have 20k power there, and you can obviously trigger that effect so you can give them double strike. On top of the fact that your opponent probably is not going to negate their attack because they'll burn themselves in the process. And then, of course, has a +1 ability. So you can combo your turn and draw and trigger this effect, but also you can do it on your opponent's turn to draw. So it becomes a nice little draw engine, and getting that +1 marker comes in handy, especially with the fact that he's a blocker. So like I say, you can attack with him, block with him. So really good unison to have in this deck. So obviously we added that in there. Notice that we have Gohan here, we got Gohan here, or Gohanks. Got Gohan in our Z deck. And maybe, Juvenile, obviously still good card, because plus once you draw a card, choose one of your battle cards, put it on this card, so it's good for getting rid of any problematic battle card you need to get rid of, especially regardless of their cost. You can get rid of an 8-drop, a 10-drop, that kind of stuff. It's just nice to have that as an option. He powers up the leader by 1k power. And then he gains 10k, so it'll be 20k swinging on your turn. So still a really good card with Bulma. And Gohanks, he's the ultimate. He has dual attack. He's a blocker. When you play this card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards that are on barrier, and they get minus 25k power for the turn. So it's an ignore barrier board wipe, essentially. More kill, right? And it has the +1 auto. When your opponent attacks with a battle card, you may choose that card, and it gets minus 25k power for the turn. So it adds to the defensive capability of the deck. And then, of course, he gets a +1. He gets a marker, so of course that will add to his ability to survive when he blocks. He has the -4 ability. Active main, this card gains 15k power and triple strike for the turn. And at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode, so don't hesitate to play him out 5 energy, right? And then do his -4, so that way he can be a 40k triple strike. And remember, he's already dual attack, so that's a 40k triple strike that can attack twice. Then at the end of the turn, he'll restand, so you can use them to block if your opponent survives. You know, a 40k triple attacker attacking him twice, right? And you board wipe by just playing this card, so opponent should have very little to swing back on. But if he does, have the +1 auto ability, and the fact that he's a blocker, so you have the ability to at least potentially stop 2 attacks. And then, of course, you can throw touchdown position on top of that, even a Nappa, to further help, try to defend you. And that's the end of the video. Oh wait, sorry, I always hate that part. Can't forget the Zenkai deck. Because even if he didn't already have blocker, he would have gained blocker, but he already has blocker. And that's all we really have him for, is for the ability to have a reliable 1 drop in case we ever end up in a scenario where our hand's a little light, in case our opponent hits us with like perfect for Cell or Cell Zeno or some shit like that. And we're low on cards and we need some type of defense. This comes in handy. Or you just don't want to use cards from your hands to establish a board. You can just play this. You can see that. And then this has the permanent where it can't be KO'd. And of course, it'll become a blocker. So 2 drop, 15k blocker with deflect and can't be KO'd. Comes in handy so that we can kind of have guaranteed defense. This has deflect and double strike. Of course, become a blocker. But the main reason we have it here is for his auto. When this card is played, plays up to 1 same card from your drop under this card, and this card gains barrier for the turn. Additionally, your opponent has 4 or more life, deal 1 damage. So this helps us get our opponent from 4 down to 3, so that way we get closer to getting them down to 2 or 1 life. So that way our our taxes cards or our burn cards can put our opponent in kill range. So if they play a counter attack or counter play or counter, they'll end up killing themselves. So that's to help us make sure our opponent's down on low on life. And of course, he's double strike, so it definitely helps get it. So it's kind of like triple damage right there if that double strike goes through. And then we have Ultra Instinct Goku. Acts like a finisher in the deck, right? Because he's deflect, barrier, 20k, dual attack. It's the auto limit 1 if this card is in rest mode and you discard 1 card from your hand when you use one of your. Oh no, that's not it. That's the skillless effect. Okay, at the end of your turn, switch this card to active. So of course we can attack with him twice because he has dual attack, so we can take advantage of that. And then at the end of the turn, you can use him to block. And again, he has barrier, which is very helpful. I thought this had another ability. Just read it somewhere. Anyway, good card nonetheless. Just thought that he had an ability to gain like double strike or something. So I read it wrong. That's the end of the video.